I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you should consider the new 2025 Ford Explorer ST line and Riptide Red over Onyx Active X interior. I'm going to also touch bases on some pros and cons and the comparable rivals. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and this year we finally get the updates that I think Ford has been needing to give the Explorer so it doesn't look so much like a police officer car. The front's going to be a little bit more rounded. The gloss black is going to be implemented in the enlarged grille. Explorer badging is still on the top. Because this is the ST line, you're going to have the gloss black aesthetics. It's going to look sporty, but it's not going to have the same power option as the true ST. Updated LED headlights and daytime runnings. In the lower, gets a air pocket with LED fog lights, as well as a touch of the gloss black, and going ST line and under is under 8 inches of clearance. In the Platinum, you're getting over 8 inches of clearance. Plus, when you go Platinum, you have 2 different power options, which standard is this 2.3 liter EcoBoost inline 4-cylinder turbocharge. You can get that in the Platinum trim, or you could get the ST engine, which is that twin turbo V6. Here, 300 horsepower. That's going to be the first reason why I would consider the ST line. Because when you're thinking about vehicles in class, this is best for horsepower and torque. Back 310 pound-feet of torque. Rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive configuration. We're showcasing the rear-wheel drive configuration, and it doesn't matter the power option because they're both going to be paired with the 10-speed automatic transmission, but your MPGs will be better here because you're at 20 for the city, 29 for the highway. Now, they've not just refreshed the front. You also got new wheel designs. They start off at an 18-inch. This is the 21-inch, 5 double-spoke alloy wheels with the red brake calipers, ST line badging. Unfortunately, not a huge fan of the matte black, so that's going to be a con to me because when you're in the ST line, I wish it was gloss black. But even going into the ST, it's going to be the same thing, and it doesn't matter the power option. You're still getting 5,000 pounds of towing, which has decreased from 24. But I do like that even if you go into the lower power option, you're not sacrificing there, giving me the second reason why I would consider the ST line. Because it's not just aesthetics, it's performance. You have raised roof rails, so you could use tie down similar to Subaru, and putting the rivals in perspective like Toyota. That's going to be at least a couple grand more than this. Going to Honda, the same thing. Nissan is going to be the best in towing capabilities, but they may change the engine option from the naturally aspirated V6 to the VC turbocharged engine, which is in the new QX60. But they're still going to be towing 6,000 pounds. It's just when you consider the weight to that vehicle, adding that engine, I don't know. I mean, let me know what you think about that in the comments. As for that sports styling, it ticks the box, and it still has a lot of performance. I mean, 300 horsepower. Vehicles in its class are under that, which is kind of crazy when you're considering the curb weight to these vehicles. The rear has been reworked with a refreshed LED taillight setup. It's not a full LED light bar, but I like the gloss black that comes into play with the Explorer badging. With reverse parking sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera, gloss black is going to surround and highlight where the exhaust would be. Now, when you go into the ST, you're getting quad exhaust tips. I kind of like that you're getting all that power. I mean, 400 horsepower out of the ST with 415 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of motivation. So when you're putting either of the two in class, it's going to be maybe a $10,000 difference in price. You're getting a lot of value considering anyone that you compete with is going to be less than this. In that twin turbo V6, that's the same power option that goes into Lincoln, which that vehicle can go into $80,000. Standard power liftgate going into 16.3 cubic feet of storage. You have a storage nook here on the side and here. 12-volt charger starts on this trim. Underneath the floor, you'll have a ton of storage capacity, and you can split fold the rear bench in the back electronically. That also starts on this trim. That's going to increase cargo to almost 50 cubic feet of storage, but unfortunately, to maximize the cargo capacity, you have to go into the back to pull this in order to get the 86 cubic feet of storage, which is a little bit less than 2024. Standard Active X seating with the cloth inserts, heated, no ST badging on the ST line, 12-way power seat adjustment for the driver and passenger with the ST line plate. Let's fire it up. Now, one thing you are noticing right off the bat with this refresh is the dashboard. It's kind of like a floating dashboard. It is actually pushed up more so, giving more interior space for the front occupants, especially with the leg room. And you can see the width. As for headroom, it's very good. You do not have a panel moonroof, but you can option it. Auto dimming rear view mirror, B&O upgraded sound system. You get a total of 10 speakers. The ST will get 14 speakers. And I like the speaker inlays that divide the dashboard. With the Explorer badging, you have this aluminum look that comes off. Wireless charging, you can't get that on the base active. It is an option when you get into the ST with the new 13.2 infotainment screen with Google Maps. Google Play, Google Assist, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio with Wi-Fi hotspot. And when you use the rotary knob, putting it into reverse, we got a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can also zoom in for the toe, and you have a few different options here to zoom in for your reversing to make it a little bit more easier. You also have games, but unfortunately you can only do this when you're at a stop. But you can go to the Google Play Store, so that way you can tick the box for that, as well as YouTube, so you can watch me while you're driving your Ford Expedition. Standard tri-climate control settings, and I like that you still have a huge pocket here on the side. This has also been reworked, and it opens up into 2 USB ports with a 12-volt. It's a deep storage pocket. And the key fob for the Explorer. Now the ST line will not get the ST badging on the back. You'll have the Ford emblem, and you have your driver mode select here. They did not implement a full pass-through, which is a con to me, but you do receive a sleeve so you can at least put your mail. Driving modes, let's go through them. We have a ton. Starting with your tow, changing into sport, and I like that they still keep that little video that comes out. Now you can go through an array of different content and information for the driver. With a leather-wrapped steering wheel, it's heated. You don't get the ST badging because this is the ST line, multi-function, and you don't receive the paddle shifts. It's going to be soft to touch, opens up into a deep storage pocket with another set of USB ports. Dashboard and door configured together nicely. Soft materials come into play. You get the aluminum inlays, but it's more of a look than the actual touch and feel. One touch up and down for the windows, soft to touch where it needs to be, with a long storage pocket and a beverage holder that's even longer. Going into the back, captain seat configuration, 7-seat or 6-seat is what we have here. Third climate control sets us off. The home plug, USB ports, pull this, you get your cup holders, storage beyond both of the front seats, air vents in the ceiling, as well as clothing hangers. Headroom, not going to be an issue, nor is leg space. This also adjusts forward and backwards to make it a little bit easier for third row occupants, and you can also recline these with manual sunshades. Grab handle here on the side. It's not that tall, so it's easy to get in, but I like that they keep everything soft. You have a cup holder in the top, 2 more in the bottom. Going into the back, simple enough. Pull the lever, slide it forward. That's the room that you got for somebody at my dimensions at 6'3". 2 USB ports is going to be in the back with the storage sleeve, a cup or beverage holder here with a couple storages, as well as the air vents in the ceiling. Slide this back so you can see leg space. But on this side, nothing for charging. You can only do it on one side. You do still receive cup holders and storage, but it's definitely not a pro when you can only use it on one side. Turbo 4 with 300 horsepower, is it good? It's sufficient for a daily use vehicle. I mean, 20 mpgs for the city, 29 mpgs for the highway, soft interior components, and they stress that with the refresh as well as the technology. The exterior, it looks a lot more refined and more bold. I like what they've done. It's not as cop car look, and you still have that sport style, because 300 horsepower, that's crazy. I mean, think about the competition that we're in. When you go into Honda, they don't have that. Toyota, they don't have that. Nissan, I mean, tick the box, who has it? You have to go into something more premium. Plus, if you go into the ST, 400 horsepower at a 60 grand price. I mean, what world did you live in that you can get an SUV that's family oriented with performance or a performance look? That's what the Explorer is bringing. And that takes me to the third reason why I would option the ST line, is because it backs it with the styling. You still have performance, and I understand it may sound like I'm just wanting a race car. I'm just excited that Ford still offers something with this much potential compared to the rivals. I mean, look at her go. Now on the downside to it, you do have a little bit of a turbo lag. It does hit more around 2.5 to near 3 RPM, but in the same aspect, you're getting more value than you would when you go Toyota or Honda. I like that Honda still offers a naturally aspirated V6, but I mean, when you're thinking about power, this just knocks it out of the ballpark. Now the suspension isn't as plush as some of the vehicles in its class. So if you are taking some maneuvers a little bit harder on the bends, you're going to feel it a lot more so. And I mean, it's a top heavy vehicle. You're not really looking for performance when you go ST line. You're really looking for aesthetics, a little bit more of a comfortable drive. I would probably lower the wheel size so that way I can get that more comfort, because you will feel a lot more imperfections when you're going 21-inch wheels. But cargo capacity, actual room in each row is great. They also have made the front dash where it's pushed up more so. So it's kind of like a floating dash, giving more leg space getting up onto the interstate. Sound deadening could be a little bit better, but in the same aspect, we also have 21-inch wheels, hence is why I would probably suggest going a smaller wheel design. Not a huge fan of the way the screen is integrated higher up. I would have liked to see it a little bit more in the dashboard, but I do like the speaker that kind of is implemented through the whole dashboard layout. And it does look a little bit different than Lincoln in the interior, but it still has a sporty interior feel. You're not going to be getting the paddle shifts, but I wouldn't expect that with this turbocharged 4. Not a big fan of the 10-speed automatic transmission because it does change gears a little bit more rapid. Can feel the turbo here and there kick in, and at sometimes the lag can, at a stop and go point, feel a little bit more so, making the drive a little bit less pleasurable. But for a day in and day out, it's really hard to say that it's not a home run for the refresh that they've implemented, the horsepower that you're getting. And that takes me to the fourth reason why I would option the ST line, is because you're right at 50 grand. There isn't very many vehicles that give you all of this in one package. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Furman Ford for giving us this 2025 Ford Explorer ST line for our car review.